right. Well, thank you so much for coming out today. It's been a great opportunity to meet so many different distinguished business leaders here in the UK and across Europe. And I hope you really have enjoyed the conversations that we've had today and are taking away some of the insights, both in terms of some of the work that we're doing, but more importantly, what all the businesses in this room are doing collectively as all of us proceed down the path of digital innovation. And you heard this morning from Judson and James talk about digital transformation and the types of changes that I think all of us are looking to do as part of our businesses, where we engage better with our customers, where we empower our employees, where we really look to optimize our operations to the next level, and where fundamentally we change and transform the products and the services that we offer and collectively can use to drive our businesses forward. And as you heard this morning, really the key thing that is necessary, I think, to enable all of these types of transformations is the set of systems of intelligence that help you get insight from how your business is doing, helps you translate that into action, and really ultimately delivers results. And what I'm going to do here today is talk some more about some of the work that we're doing to enable that from a platform perspective and from an application perspective, but then more importantly, talk about customers that are actually using it. And I think I'm going to talk about 4 great customers based here in the UK, and we're fortunate to have several of them join me on stage as we'll play some videos of them talking about the solutions, and in particular, how this technology really helped them deliver enormous return on investment and really transform their businesses. And the way we're trying to help enable this is really with the Microsoft Cloud. And our goal with the Microsoft Cloud is how can we be an ingredient and a platform that can help enable this type of digital transformation and enable you to be more successful faster than ever before. And as we think about the Microsoft Cloud all up, one of the things that we've been very focused on is not just an infrastructure cloud, not just a CRM cloud, not just an application cloud, but really a cloud that combines productivity capabilities with Office 365, business application functionality with Dynamics 365 and with LinkedIn, and then have a cloud platform that you can use to extend all that capability and build your own applications, your own customer-facing experiences, and really glue all the systems together in unique ways that aren't possible anywhere else. And it's really the combination of all 3 of these clouds together that we think really enable digital transformation at a massive scale and give you the tools necessary for you to basically build and deliver any type of solution anywhere in the world. One of the things that's unique about the Microsoft Cloud is that ability to run it all over the world. We operate Azure, which is our core cloud platform that Office and Dynamics are built up on, now in what we call 40 regions around the world. And so each of these little dots here represents clusters of multiple data centers where you can deploy and run your solutions. And we now have 40 of these regions around the world. That's more countries, more continents, and more locations than pretty much every other cloud provider combined on the planet, and gives you this ability to reach a truly global market with everything that you do. And you'll hear about some of the customers later today that will be joining me that are based here in the UK, that are taking advantage of this global scale to really enter new markets and grow their businesses in fundamental ways. The other thing that we focus very much on from the Microsoft Cloud is how do we deliver all these capabilities with the security and the compliance that you need to be able to enter any market, to be able to meet any regulation, and to really be able to drive your business in a fundamental way where as data gets more and more important, in a safe and trusted way that you can really rely on. And we now have with the Microsoft Cloud more compliance certifications than any other vendor. And you can see across a wide variety, whether they're international, whether they're regional, whether they're industry specific or government specific, you can now leverage all of this cloud capability and know that, again, you can meet any business scenario and any regulation that you so choose. So, enough about the current platform. Let's talk about what people are doing with it. And what I want to do is talk about a couple of customer examples of people that are actually using all this capability to deliver some amazing business value. And I think one of the sort of themes that you'll see through a lot of these different customer examples is this combination of combining software capability, both the software we provide and often the software that your company can customize and extend on top, and combining it with data, how that is enabling brand new scenarios to take place and really transform, as I mentioned, the products you build, how you engage with customers, how you optimize your operations, and really run your business. What I thought I'd do is just start with an interesting example of one such customer that's sort of transforming the fast food business using technology, which is not necessarily sometimes a business you think of as something new. It's fundamentally we've been ordering fast food for the same way for decades. And one of the things that McDonald's worked with us on is, and asked us this question, is how can we deliver orders faster? That's fundamentally how we make more money. It's how we make our customers happier, is can we actually process orders faster and more accurately, and ultimately deliver even better customer service. And so what I want to do is I'm going to play a video of an example of a drive-through, which are very popular in the US, and there's fewer of them here, but there are, I'm told, some here in the UK, where someone's coming up without a lot of context, speaking into a microphone, trying to place an order. It's an amazing, until I saw this video, I didn't realize how many different combinations of food that you can actually buy at McDonald's. Do you want ketchup? Do you not want ketchup, et cetera? And what they've built is a system that augments their ordering process and helps them deliver much more accurate service to their customers and help increase revenue and save a bunch of money. So let's go ahead and play the video, and you get a sense of how using AI and machine learning, where a system running inside Azure is basically listening to the conversation and augmenting what the salesperson actually sees on their kiosk, how it's actually improving the experience. So if we can go ahead and run the video now.
Good afternoon, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?
Yes, I would like 2 Happy Meals, 1 cheeseburger and 1 chicken McNugget, both with fries and apples, 1 with a chocolate milk and 1 with a small orange juice. Also give me 2 cheeseburgers, both of those no onion and 1 of those no ketchup as well, 1 fry and a large coffee, 2 cream, 3 sugars.
Would you like that fry to be large?
Yes, thank you.
Would you like barbecue sauce with those nuggets?
No sweet and sour.
Is the order on your screen correct?
Yes.
Okay, your total is $14.68. Please pull around to the first window.
So you can see here, this was not something that was happened after the fact. This was literally how can they do real-time transcription during an interview or during an ordering process. How can you use machine learning both to kind of understand what the person's saying, but more importantly, take a semantic model of all the possible combinations that can actually be ordered at McDonald's and turn it into an order that can be shown to the customer in a customer-friendly way and to the salesperson in a correct way, verify the accuracy, and basically run through it. And they're starting to pilot this now in a lot of their restaurants, and one of the things they've seen is that they can actually process now 20% more orders in a given hour than they could in the past. And that translates for them to enormous ROI and more happy customers that don't end up leaving and then discovering, oh, onions was included when they didn't mean to, or there was ketchup versus non-ketchup, and so forth. So these types of AI capabilities where you're able to take the raw input, whether it's sound, whether it's vision, whether it's custom data that you have, and be able to use machine learning to get insight are going to be the types of systems that are going to become more and more popular over the next couple of years and are going to be really used to transform businesses in a fundamental new way. One of the things though I hear from a lot of people though is, so this is all great. The problem is I don't have data scientists on my staff. All this looks good, but like I have to hit a problem and I need to make sure my business runs better the next 6 months. And how do I actually continually improve my operations without having to hire lots of data scientists, without having to have lots of PhDs? How can you help me use AI today in order to transform my business and continually make it better and better with some of this more advanced tech along the way? And one of the things that you kind of heard from James and Judson this morning is how we're looking to kind of enable you to take the data that's already in your business apps with Dynamics 365. How do you take the data that's already in your productivity solutions like Office 365? How can you take other data sources like LinkedIn? How do you merge all of these types of signals together in a way that's just automatic, that doesn't require data scientists, but actually just enables you to use these applications and take the data that your employees are already entering in these applications and create a semantic model of that data that you can then automatically use AI against. And what's powerful about this type of model is, again, you don't need to have a great data scientist team. You can just take the applications that you're already using and immediately get value on top of this data. And part of the power of what we provide with Microsoft Cloud is you can then add additional custom data sources as you need them into this graph. And your insights around your business can get smarter and smarter along the way. And your employees can immediately start to take advantage of the insights that are built into the applications to run the businesses more effectively. Marston's is a great example of a customer here in the UK that's doing this today. They're a brewer and they own also pubs across the UK. And one of the things that they look to do is how do we fundamentally continually to improve our pub experience? How can we increase the yield that we can get from each of our individual pubs? And how do we take data to be able to provide both a richer customer experience, but also one that allows us to run our pubs more effectively and to actually run them more profitably from an operational perspective as well. And the way they did this is they adopted Dynamics 365. They used our customer engagement capabilities to be able to track, for example, their customers, to be able to do reservations, to actually track table usage, and a wide variety of built-in schema types that they are able to take advantage of directly inside the applications. And then what they also started to do after they had the basic system up was start to feed into Dynamics and into that overall data model additional insights that came from social media. And so they started with TripAdvisor reports and Twitter feedback, as well as Facebook posts, and use that as a way to correlate which pubs were people talking about, and even be able to understand who on Twitter was or on TripAdvisor was giving a negative review or a positive review, and be able to tie it back all the way into the customer record for that particular visitor to the overall pub. And they even went further and they actually took in the Wi-Fi signal strength they discovered based on their social listening was a key determiner on whether the pub was profitable or not. They discovered if they had good Wi-Fi in the pub, people tended to stay longer and have more food and more drinks. And that was often one of the key determiners actually as to how successful the pub was, something that they had no idea made such a difference until they started looking at this overall data. And then what they built using Dynamics was a couple of custom front ends using our Power Apps capability that they could put in front of the key stakeholders inside Marston's to help them run the business more effectively. So it wasn't just about getting the insights, it was be able to take those insights and turn them into action. And so they now have, for example, for their wait staff, when someone comes in, they can look up if they're a frequent customer. Is it their birthday? What's their favorite drink? Do they have a particular table that they like? And they're able to kind of provide, again, a much more curated customer experience that makes the customer happier. They've been able to build, using our Power BI capability with Dynamics 365, customized dashboards that they can provide to the pub manager, which can provide insights in terms of what are the key operational metrics that you should focus on, how are you doing relative to other pubs, what can we glean from social listening, the particular staff that people like or have had bad experiences with, how can you go ahead and optimize that? And then for the central office and the marketing side, they've been able to take those same insights and be able to drive coordinated marketing programs so that they can actually reach the people that are most likely to visit the pub, and again, optimize that experience in a really rich way. So simple model where they didn't have to have data scientists. They don't have any data scientists within the company, but they were able to take advantage of the built-in functionality using those data models I described, feed in additional social media capabilities, and turn it into very concrete action that's had enormous business results for them. Another great customer of ours based here in the UK that's doing amazing things is Rolls-Royce. And Rolls-Royce has taken a combination not just of the Dynamics functionality that we have with field service and support, but they're marrying it with some of the rich analytic and data capabilities that are provided as part of Azure. And so they've been now able to take IoT data directly off of the aircraft and are using it to provide a fully managed service that they can deliver to airlines to help them run their aircraft more effectively. What I'm gonna do is just play a quick video of Rolls-Royce talking about the solution they built and what it's enabling them to do. So we'll go ahead and play the video.
As an airline pilot, I know that to fly with the best, you need to work with the best. With over 13,000 engines in operation around the globe, Rolls-Royce provides the services to maintain them at peak performance. Today, each engine has thousands of sensors that can produce terabytes of data on long-haul flights. Making sense of all that data is critical in transporting my passengers safely and efficiently. Rolls-Royce uses Azure IoT Suite to analyze data remotely and deliver real-time, actionable insights to me and to the airlines about engine performance and operational efficiencies. Advanced analytics help us optimize fuel economy, anticipate maintenance needs, and avoid costly downtime and delays. A single unscheduled disruption and its knock-on effect to a fleet and the passengers can cost an airline up to $1 million a day. With early notice, our team can proactively have parts at the right place and time, reducing inventory costs and maximizing availability. Up to 1/3 of a plane's weight is fuel. As a pilot, I decide how much fuel my plane carries. Insights into engine efficiency, weather conditions, flight path, and scheduled landings impact my decision. Cortana Intelligence helps me choose the optimal fuel level to maximize efficiency. With 40% of our operating budget devoted to fuel, even a small percentage reduction can save us tens of millions of dollars each year. Microsoft and Rolls-Royce, reaching new heights in customer value.
So let's talk about another great company based here in the UK. ASOS is the largest independent online fashion retailer here in the UK. And their mission statement is to be able to be the world's #1 fashion destination for 20-somethings all over the world. And we're really delighted that they're building this experience using the Microsoft Cloud and Azure. And what I'd like to do is invite Dave Green, who's the senior architect of ASOS, on stage to talk a little bit about their solution and what they're trying to do with it. So please welcome Dave.
Hi. How you doing? Thank you so much. Hi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. No, it's great to be here. So we're ASOS, and for those of you who don't know that much about ASOS, we started life about 17 years ago. We were a startup back in the 2000s, and we started life selling products that you would find on television or in the movies. So ASOS is as seen on screen. And so the first thing I think we ever sold was a lamp from a friend's Central Perk thing. But soon after that, we pivoted into the fashion industry, and since then we've grown up a bit, and we're going quite well now. So I think 2015-16 was a 1.5 billion turnover in pounds, 85,000 products, about 40 of which are own brands now, and that's fast fashion, so it's constant churn, so about 5,000 new products every week. And 14 million active users, 100 million page views a day on a website. It's a great business.
That's awesome. So I know ASOS is a really high growth company, and you've been through a period of sort of unprecedented change over the last couple of years. Can you provide some insight into what's driving this change and some of the digital transformation you're going through?
Yeah, and so it's that growth that's generated the change. So it's been for a good reason. I mean, we had to take a look at how we were set up and what we needed to do to enable that for the future. A few years ago, we realized that our technology was starting to hinder that growth. We found that we had a tech stack that was 17 years old. It was designed back when desktop web was the only real game in town, so we couldn't support mobile apps and various things like that. So as a tech strategy, we had to step back and look at where do we need to go to enable that growth. And so now we've landed that. We've landed a great customer-centric experience that can be landed on whatever device the customer wants to use it, and it's helping to fuel our international expansion. So we're seeing more and more traffic coming from outside of the UK. It's now only about 40% of our sales, and in all different currencies, different languages, and it's really this tech strategy that's enabled it.
That's great. And can you talk about this tech strategy a little bit more depth, and specifically how it's setting up ASOS to succeed going forward?
Sure. So we had some clear things that we wanted to get out of our tech strategy. Our customers are now global, so we needed to be able to deploy our code globally and be as close to the customer to make sure that they could have reliable, safe access to the services that we provide. We wanted to be able to scale and be resilient, but scale to us isn't just about the physical scaling. It's about how do we get developer teams to be able to work multiple things in parallel so that they can deliver new features and make sure that things are moving fast. And we wanted to make sure that it was future-proof, because we didn't want to be in the situation where we couldn't support an upcoming change and, or a new paradigm. And all of that led us to the conclusion that a microservices architecture powered by Azure and the Microsoft Cloud was really our best bet for the future. And that's something that we landed that around October last year, just in time for Black Friday. And Black Friday is one of ASOS's main peak periods. So about 10% of all of the revenue goes through annually comes from that one weekend. So some nerves about landing a new platform just before there, especially when everything that we now need to do to take money goes through Azure. But I think it's fair to say that it went as well as could possibly be expected. We broke record after record. I think we took more money than we'd ever taken before on a day, twice on things, 500,000 orders in one weekend. And I think it's fair to say we didn't leave a lot of money on the table that day. So it was good.
You processed 500,000 orders in one weekend.
Yes.
With the new system.
Yes, the warehouse was very happy.
So what's next for ASOS?
Again, so we look into the future. It's things about personalization. We've got 85,000 products, and you've got a 30-product grid view there. How do you make sure that those are the right 30 products to put in front of the customer? We're finding that the architecture and the tech strategies allowing us to work with fashion tech startups. So we're doing a lot of innovation in that sort of space, which is exciting. And in the future with AI and machine learning, how can that help us with bots? Customer care, can we help drive better interactions with our customers through there? And even more, looking further to the future, things such as augmented reality. Could that help with our fashion design and our designers on the shop floor? So lots of exciting things.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for betting on the Microsoft Cloud. We really appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks. The cool thing about everything we've talked about today is it's not the future, it's now. And as you heard from ASOS, from Rolls-Royce, from Marston's, all these things are shipping things that are not things that you need to wait for the future to do. They really are things that you can take advantage of immediately to deliver fantastic ROI and business value. What's exciting though is the future is always going to get better and better. And you heard Dave talk about things like augmented reality and mixed reality. How does that change the way you do fashion design? How does that change the way you do retail customization and designing storefronts? And one of the things I wanted to do is play a quick video of sort of a concept that we're actually starting to work with several retailers that are doing physical retail stores with, which is how can you use some of this technology to change and transform business processes like designing storefronts, designing layout in fundamental new ways, and taking advantage of things like HoloLens and some of the other great technology that we have coming out shortly. So we'll go ahead and play a video, give you kind of an idea of what the future of retail design could look like.
But the client is on an earlier flight.
We're so not ready.
Should we start to panic?
Not yet. Just bring the team in, please.
I can see you're hard at work, Samir, but Penny needs your help.
Yeah, sure thing. Just let me check out this bunker real quick.
Samir, the client is on.
As per usual, your sense of timing is just awesome.
カイさん、ペニーが呼んでいますけど。
今すぐ行くって伝えて。Penny?
Hey. Cute.
I try.
So, how's it coming?
It's not. This is the flagship store. It's gotta be unforgettable.
Yeah, not exactly blowing my hair back.
Yeah, the space is driving me nuts.
All right, how about a change of scenery?
Welcome to Think Club.
Some inspiration, please.
Namaste.
Wait.
Inspiration comes from the most unfamiliar places. I made you, you are now me. Information sent, now lay down your heart of aces. What will be, will just be. Check a little and I will go back to the place where we went slow.
またギリギリなのね。Impressive.
That went well.
So as you think about kind of the future of retail and you think about how augmented reality and mixed reality can start to come into play, that ability to kind of see things that you can't see today in a physical way in a digital world, and more importantly, mix the two together, is something that I think you're going to start to see really over the next year or two be popularized in lots and lots of different scenarios, whether it's in retail and scenarios. We're seeing it even in things like elevator maintenance. For field service. How can you combine the field service capabilities, for example, of Dynamics 365 and have a technician be able to put on a HoloLens and actually see a heads-up display of all the history of that particular elevator and be able to understand who's worked on it, what's changed, what are the likely sensors that might be breaking down. And when you have a couple $100 device that you can give to a technician, you can deliver amazing ROI with it.